What's up, Internet? This is Rambling Josh, and you're watching another episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy Tactics. Today we go into the second level of the Deep Dungeon, Terminate. And I should probably point out that the biggest change that I've made to my party is that I have made Liza back into a mediator. That's not what I wanted. Largely to take advantage of the glacier gun. It's a pretty strong weapon, so I figure, why not take advantage of it? I was also kind of thinking of teaching her equipped gun, so maybe I can make her like a summoner with a gun or something crazy like that. But we'll see. Now this map is fairly straightforward. It's basically just like a giant, not quite flat plane, just because, it's actually not flat at all. It has lots of little, like, height variations all over the place. But it's, there's nothing too concerning about the terrain. It's, mostly just a straight shot from top to bottom. It does slope a bit, but that doesn't really matter a whole lot. Let's see. Level prime, does that hit someone? That hits that archer. Let's see if we can't put him to sleep. Oh, it hits that summoner too. That's convenient. Both of them are asleep. Wonderful. This is actually a bit of an odd fight. Usually you fight a ton of enemies in each fight, but there's only 4 enemies. I mean, 2 of them are dragons, but dragons are strong, but usually they die just as good as any other enemy. Hey, I'm not complaining. Fortunately, I can't quite reach them yet, so let's take a quick look at the AT list. Harian and Uparmo. Let's see if I can't jump on him. That should hopefully work. Oh wow, he's coming down in a real hurry. Works for me. And just like that, all that's left is 1 dragon. And a sleeping archer. But sleeping enemies don't tend to be very hard to deal with. Let's just use Q3 on her. Shoot you with more fire. And I should probably start moving down a bit so I can actually start finding some of the items in this level. So let's kill this dragon off. Well, that wasn't very hard. I guess with my other characters I should start looking for the exit. Might as well get some JP while I'm at it. Now normally with Rams I would use Scream or Yell just to get his speed up, just because it kind of makes sense to do when you're just trying to move around and stuff. But the thing about the Deep Dungeon is really don't want to do that. See, I've had bad experiences with increasing my speed too much in the Deep Dungeon. Now, let's see, there's one item at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. Oh! Well, the summoner is sitting right on top of it. That's rather inconvenient. The other one is, I think, right there. So I guess I should just move over here. Yeah, sure, let's get haste on. Now see, the problem with getting someone's speed up too high is in the deep dungeon you can find these nasty things called... Wait, what are they called? They might just be called death sentence traps. And they do what their name would imply that they do. They inflict death sentence. And if you have one person who is exceptionally fast and everyone else is not exceptionally fast, guess what's gonna happen? The person with the death sentence is gonna die real quick. And then guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna turn into a crystal real quick, before you even have a chance to do anything about it. And that's rather unfortunate. So we're not gonna be having Ramza doing a whole lot of yelling. It doesn't really make too much difference anyways, just because, hold on. Gotta move down here and find a Save the Queen, which is another nice Knight Sword. It's a pretty decent one. It comes with auto protect or whatever you want to call it, so that can be handy. What was I talking about? Right, every turn at this point is an ally's turn, so it doesn't really matter a whole lot if I'm, you know, at 50 speed or 20 speed, because no matter how fast or slow I am, there's never going to be any enemies to kind of interject in between my turns. The one exception to this rule is, of course, the fact that if you want one person to be a little bit faster than everyone else, if, say, Liza, if you want her to, like, be moving around and looking for items, then you can speed her up, just because, well, you want her to get more turns so she can move faster than everyone else. How did you miss haste on Ramza? You suck. And these dragons are all turning into treasure chests, rather than crystals, which is rather unfortunate. I like it when they turn into crystals, because... Oh, sleeping gas. Can I wake him up without killing him? I can indeed. I should start moving her back in this way. The summoner's probably going to be crystallizing soon. But yeah, I like crystals as opposed to chests, especially in the deep dungeon, because in the deep dungeon, crystals give you light, whereas chests are almost always useless, no matter where you get them. Wait, was that the... yeah, that was the summoner there, okay. Stick another heal on Brett to recover from the, no, he wasn't hit by the steel needle. He was hit by, right, he was hit by a sleep trap, and I had to wake him up. Okay. Thief hat, and we also find a blood sword hidden in this location. So if for some strange reason you feel like you need to have another blood sword, there you go. It's a rare item. It's not super useful at this point in the game, but, you know, if maybe you want to do something silly like dual wield blood swords to, like, absorb a lot of HP with every attack, well, there you go. Oop, Archer Face woke up. Maybe I can put him back to sleep with Mimic Darabon. It's worth a shot. 47% chance. It's not completely terrible. Hey, it worked. Nice. You never know. Low hit chances, you know. A chance is still a chance. Can I hit the chakra? No. Just looking for opportunities to get a little bit extra JP. Where are you, exit? I'll find you eventually. It's probably like back at the top or something silly like that. The funny thing about the deep dungeon is that the enemies that you face here tend to be rather high level. Like if we look at this archer, he's at level 67, which is, you know, 7 higher than Ramza, about 10 higher than most of the rest of my party. But by this point in the game, the enemies, even at a high level, they don't really tend to be all that hard. I mean, don't get me wrong, the fights in the deep dungeon are probably going to be harder than any other random battle. Harder than a lot of the scripted battles, too, that you fight, you know, anywhere else in the game. But at this point, the level difference doesn't really make all that big of a difference. You know, at this point, leveling up doesn't really do a whole lot for you. It just... I mean, you obviously get stats and stuff for leveling up, but the way the leveling up system works in Final Fantasy Tactics, leveling up a couple times doesn't make a big difference. It's more about leveling up, you know, a whole bunch of times. If they were like level 80, that would be a different story. The leveling up system, it's not something I've really gone over in too much detail in the past, but I do plan to kind of discuss it a little bit more in depth in the near future. One interesting thing you might have noticed is that archer there, he's wearing an item called the Ultimus bow, which is a pretty decent bow. Well, 10 attack power, but bows tend to be kind of low on attack power anyways. But the point is, it's an interesting item just because the Ultimus bow is not a bow that you can buy. It's stronger than any bow that you can buy in a shop. Oh, that was a chest. I was gonna say, did I find the exit? No, I did not. So the Ultimus bow is stronger than any bow that you can buy in a shop. But at the same time, it's also a bow that you're going to find a lot of random archers, probably most random archers that you encounter are wearing. Which is interesting because normally, if you encounter an enemy in a random battle, it can only use items that are purchasable in a shop. But the Ultimus bow is, of course, an exception to that. Try and put this guy back to sleep again. Probably have to move a little bit closer to him. No, not time magic. Mimic Darabon! Wow, it worked twice in a row. That's pretty good. So yeah, Ultimus bows, you can't buy them, but there's a lot of them out there. So if you really want one of them, it's not that hard to find an archer to steal it off of. Which is kind of strange, because like I said, I mean, normally you can't do that with an item that you can't just buy in a shop. Which I think is, you know, why they make it so that you can only encounter enemies that have purchasable items, just so that you don't find, you know, rare items that you can just steal from like a random encounter. But Ultimus bows are just a strange exception to this rule. The theory, I don't know if it's, you know, the accepted theory, or just a theory that some people have that's completely baseless, is that the Ultimus bow was originally supposed to be a purchasable item. But that doesn't appear to be how things ended up working out. This exit sure is giving me trouble. Ah, there we go. Found it. Now to finish off Archer Face, and we can be on our merry way. So, that was Terminate. Probably the least impressive dungeon or level of the deep dungeon, especially with that fight. I mean, you can fight harder fights than that. That one was pretty pathetic, but yeah. So, now that we are done with that, we can move on to Delta. Next time on Let's Play Final Fantasy Tactics. Catch you later.